Have you ever wondered what life is truly like in one of the most challenging and dangerous places
بعد
in the
نجاح
world?
قوات الجيش
Yemen, often in the
ورغم ما
headlines for its
يستمر القتال
conflicts and struggles, is a land full of contrasts and untold stories. While many might think of the Arabian Peninsula as a region of wealth and luxury, Yemen tells a different tale, one of resilience amidst adversity.
بات القضاء على العناصر
In
الحوثية
this
في
video,
المنطقة
we're going to dive deep into the heart of Yemen, exploring how people navigate their
مناطق
daily
في
lives
الجبهة
despite the
الجنوبية
obstacles they face. Ready to be amazed? Let's go. 1. Geography and demographics. Yemen is situated at the southern edge of the Arabian Peninsula, with a coastline that stretches along the sea. Its geographical layout resembles a large rectangle, extending horizontally across the map. Covering an impressive area of 528,000 square kilometers, Yemen is larger than many countries worldwide. Despite its vast size, it is home to 33 million people, making it quite densely populated. This density adds to the complexity of its challenges, as resources and infrastructure are stretched thin. The official language of Yemen is Arabic, and nearly the entire population practices Islam, reflecting a deep cultural and religious homogeneity. Yemen's geographical neighbors are Oman to the east, Saudi Arabia to the north, the Arabian Sea to the south, and the Red Sea to the west. The country is rich in oil, akin to Libya, yet it has struggled to fully exploit this resource. Despite the vast oil reserves, Yemen's inability to effectively harness this wealth mirrors the fate of other oil-rich countries in the Middle East and Africa, which often face similar challenges. Yemen possesses stunning natural beauty with its coastal and desert landscapes, which could make it a prime destination for tourists. However, the ongoing internal
العمليات
conflicts
العسكرية
make travel to
الجارية
Yemen
الآن
extremely
توضح أن
difficult. The country's tourism potential remains untapped due to the persistent issues and instability that have plagued it. It's estimated that over 80% of Yemen's population currently relies on humanitarian aid, highlighting the severity of the situation. 2. Historical context. Yemen's historical backdrop adds another layer of intrigue. Until about 200 years ago, Yemen was part of the Ottoman Empire. During this period, the Ottoman Empire was struggling, and the Turks were finding it difficult to maintain control. Seizing the opportunity, the British arrived in the mid-1800s, inciting local rebellions against the Ottoman forces. This period of unrest and rebellion ultimately led to Yemen's separation from the Ottoman Empire, setting the stage for the challenges it faces today. Following World War I and the signing of the Mondros Armistice, Yemen's status as an Ottoman territory came to an end. In the aftermath, Yemen found itself embroiled in persistent power struggles among various Arab tribes, with efforts to unite the region proving unsuccessful. The turmoil only intensified in 2011 when the Arab Spring plunged Yemen into further chaos, leading to widespread unemployment, economic instability, and ultimately, the collapse of the government. Since that upheaval, Yemen has been plagued by ongoing turmoil and corruption. The country remains deeply divided, lacking both unity and a strong leadership figure capable of guiding it out of its crisis. As a result, external influences, particularly from the UK and the United Nations, have increasingly shaped Yemen's internal affairs. 3. Traveling to Yemen. Traveling to Yemen can be quite challenging due to limited flight options. Your best bet is to fly into Oman, which is one of Yemen's neighboring countries. The city of Salalah in Oman is the closest major entry point, with its airport serving as a gateway. From Salalah, it's about a 33-kilometer drive to the Yemen border, which typically takes around 2 hours by car. The journey to the border is quite desolate, with only narrow asphalt roads and occasional sightings of wandering camels. Upon reaching the border, Omani soldiers will likely stop you to question your intentions. They will inform you of the dangers associated with traveling to Yemen, and you may undergo a brief interrogation. Once you get through the border, entering Yemen is relatively straightforward. Security at the Yemeni border is minimal, making it easier to cross. However, entry through the northern borders with Saudi Arabia is not feasible. Major Yemeni cities like Sana'a, which are located in the western part of the country, are at the heart of the ongoing conflict and instability. 4. Western Yemen. The western region of Yemen is known for its high population density and is often the epicenter of tribal conflicts and protests. If you plan to visit Yemen, it's advisable to enter through the eastern border with Oman, where you can explore less populated areas. Gaining access to the western part of the country requires press credentials and permission from specific institutions or organizations. Upon entering Yemen from the eastern border, one of the first things you'll notice is the state of disrepair of the buildings. The surroundings give off an otherworldly vibe, as if you've stepped into a completely different era. Occasionally, you'll see people standing or walking by the roadside, adding to the sense of discovering a world unlike any you've seen before. The sky's dreary gray hues merge with the pale blue of the sea, while you travel over reddish, clay-like soil. The environment feels like it's stuck in a different time period, far removed from the year 2024. As you examine the neglected shoreline, you'll notice numerous small pits scattered across the sand. 5. Marine life and beaches. The beaches, once frequented, have been abandoned by the local population for so long that they've become a refuge for marine life. Crabs have taken advantage of the situation, creating numerous burrows along the shore. Sadly, some marine creatures, less fortunate than the crabs, have washed ashore and now lie lifeless on the sand. Venturing further inland from the coast, you'll start to see signs of civilization. Open shops, people on the move, and vehicles become more common, though the roadsides are often littered with rubble and dust. The roads are dirty, and the signage on buildings is faded, giving the impression that no new construction has occurred in a long time. When hunger strikes and you decide to eat at a local establishment, you'll notice that food is traditionally eaten with the hands, and tea is a common accompaniment to meals. The cuisine is heavily spiced with a tangy flavor, and camel meat is a staple protein source. The local shops are generally makeshift, reflecting the struggles people face in making a living under challenging conditions. 6. Economic hardships. If you're particular about hygiene, you might find it challenging to find suitable food in Yemen, while some areas are more bustling and people manage to get by. Despite the harsh conditions, high inflation makes it incredibly tough for the average person to afford basic necessities. Though shops do carry products, the cost of living is a significant barrier. For many, incomes are alarmingly low, with some individuals earning as little as $30 a month. On average, Yemenis make around $100 per month. The Yemeni rial's severe devaluation against the dollar has led to a situation where professionals, such as doctors and teachers, receive their salaries in dollars to help counteract the effects of the currency's depreciation. For a qualified doctor, the monthly salary is approximately $200. This figure might seem minimal compared to international standards, and indeed, Yemenis themselves view these wages as insufficient to cover their basic needs. Consequently, many people feel forced to engage in illegal activities or accept bribes to make ends meet. 7. Societal issues. This economic strain drives individuals to seek additional sources of income through less legitimate means, highlighting the severe impact of the struggling economy. Employment opportunities for women are scarce, and the financial responsibility typically falls on men. Many men try to earn a living by selling souvenirs, spices, perfumes, vegetables, fruits, and textiles, often struggling to make a sale. When you purchase items from locals, you'll notice their genuine joy and smiles. They are welcoming and unbothered by being filmed, showing no hostility towards cameras. It's also common for shopkeepers to handle products directly with their hands, reflecting the local approach to commerce. As you stroll through Yemen's narrow side streets, you can't help but feel that the aging buildings might collapse at any moment. Many structures are long past their prime, contributing to a sense of decay. Another striking observation is the predominance of older adults on the streets. Most people you see are between 40 and 50 years old, with few young people around. 8. Cultural and environmental challenges. The traditional clothing worn by men in Yemen reflects local Arabian styles, with little Western influence. The streets are heavily littered with garbage, and trash is a pervasive issue throughout the cities, indicating a severe breakdown in infrastructure and waste management systems. Navigating Yemen can be difficult if you don't speak Arabic, as nearly all signage is in Arabic. English is rarely spoken, making it necessary to hire a guide if you need assistance. Yemeni markets offer a variety of unexpected products, including a plant called khat, which resembles spinach and is highly popular among locals. Khat is not just a plant but a stimulant that induces relaxation and euphoria. It's widely grown in Yemen and exported across Africa. Many people chew the leaves to achieve a sense of well-being, So in cot markets, you might encounter individuals behaving erratically. It's wise to stay alert and keep an eye on your belongings. 9. Cultural significance of cot. Cot is known for its addictive properties. Once someone tries it, they often become a regular user. The strong allure of cot is evident in the long queues of people waiting to buy it, even amidst the challenging conditions in Yemen. Its deep cultural significance and widespread use highlight its strong grip on Yemeni society. One of Yemen's most striking features is its extensive sand dunes, which have hardened into rock formations stretching across the country. When envisioning Yemen, don't just think of flat Arabian deserts. The landscape includes many rugged, steep terrains that are challenging to navigate. Yemen's architecture, including hotels and palaces, features predominant yellow and orange hues that blend with the country's overall color palette. However, many of these significant structures are either abandoned or struggling to operate due to a lack of customers. 10. Children and transportation. It's perplexing to see small children and individuals wandering the desert roads with no signs of nearby settlements. These barefoot, dirt-covered children likely come from remote villages and journey to the cities to fulfill their needs. Without access to vehicles, their travel is primarily on foot. The lack of transportation options often leads people to attempt hitchhiking, though it's rarely successful. This suggests that Yemen's inner-city bus system has long since collapsed. Those who do have vehicles are often driving old, broken-down cars. Women are fully covered in black veils, with their faces hidden, reflecting the male-dominated society where women have little public presence and are heavily controlled by their husbands. The severe restrictions and pressures on women are evident. Foreign men attempting to engage with Yemeni women in public will likely find it impossible. Women are frequently seen along the roads, possibly wearing hats for sun protection while caring for their animals. This highlights the deep-seated gender roles and challenges faced in Yemeni society. 11. Corruption and resource management. In Yemen, corruption runs so deep that those who come to power often deplete the country's resources and then flee abroad. Despite being an oil-rich nation, Yemen imports its petrol from neighboring countries like Oman because there is no domestic infrastructure for oil extraction and processing. Politicians prioritize their own survival over public welfare, selling the country's oil and channeling the proceeds to their bank accounts in Europe. This pervasive corruption has left the Yemeni people to fend for themselves, resulting in the deterioration of cities and an increase in violence. Armed individuals with knives and guns are common, and the lack of strong political leadership and social unity exacerbates the situation. The general atmosphere is one of isolation and rampant looting. Some towns have been completely looted and abandoned. In many areas, people, including guides, carry rifles for protection. Yemen is notorious for frequent kidnappings, and safety is never guaranteed. Those who cannot defend themselves are at risk of robbery, or worse, from those seeking to assert power. 12. Challenges and resilience. If you are able to defend yourself, you might have a chance to deter or intimidate potential threats. This is the advice given by local guides. Women you see sitting in the middle of the road are often begging for food, reflecting the widespread poverty. There are many female beggars in Yemen, indicating the dire economic conditions. Despite the hardships, Arab families in Yemen continue to have large numbers of children. Each household typically has 6 to 7 children, even though parents frequently express how challenging it is to provide for their families. This cycle of poverty and overpopulation places the future of their children in jeopardy, perpetuating a difficult situation. The majority of children in Yemen lack access to education and technology, leaving them with few opportunities for growth or development. Their dreams are limited, with their most exciting experiences being the rare gifts from visiting foreigners or playing soccer. Soccer is their primary source of enjoyment and a rare escape from their challenging daily lives. 13. Gender roles and daily life. Girls in Yemen are responsible for carrying water and handling various household chores due to the lack of plumbing in their homes. Despite these tough conditions, Yemenis remain hopeful about their country's future. They believe in the possibility of improvement and show incredible hospitality to outsiders, always ready to offer what little they have. Despite enduring harsh living conditions, Yemenis are generous to their guests, sharing whatever they can. There is a hopeful vision for Yemen's future, where it could be known for its beautiful beaches and desert tours, rather than its current chaos. However, as long as tribalism persists in Yemen and similar regions, they may continue to be at the mercy of external influences. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the current state of Yemen. If you found this video insightful, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button to stay updated with our latest adventures. Your support helps us bring more stories from around the world right to your screen. Until next time, keep exploring and stay curious. See you in the next video.